All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to call to order the public hearing for the new Blair County Trail Authority. And any opening remarks?
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Chris Furman. I'm from the County Solicitor's Office. The purpose of today's hearing is to take public comment, get your information, get your comments on the record. We have a stenographer here. We will put some documents on the record to begin. We will have the commissioners give a statement of what the Trail Authority is going to do, and then I'm going to open up the floor for your comments and information for us to take as a part of the record. Anybody who's going to speak will have you sworn in by the court reporter as a group first, and you'll have to state your name and your address clearly for the court reporter to take that down. So with that being said, I'm going to first ask our stenographer to swear in everybody in the room who intends to speak.
If you plan on testifying or speaking, if you could stand and raise your right hand to be sworn. Do you swear or affirm the testimony about to give in this matter to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I do.
Okay, and with that being done, I'm going to take care of some initial housekeeping to begin with. We have run advertisements in the Altoona Mirror and the Blair Legal Journal. I have a copy of the advertisement and the affidavit of publication for the Altoona Mirror on March 20. I'd ask this to be marked as Exhibit 1. Next, we have the affidavit of publication and ad that ran in the Blair County Legal Bulletin on March 20. Ask this to be marked as Exhibit 2. Next is a copy of the ad and affidavit of publication that ran in the Altoona Mirror on April 4, 2025. Ask this to be marked as Exhibit 3. Next, I have a copy of the proposed ordinance that was subject to the advertisements and was available for view here at the county building and also at the Altoona Mirror and at the Blair Legal Journal. I ask this to be marked as Exhibit 4. Next, I have a series of letters of support that were received by the county. I'm going to name the mailor and then date of the letter, and I'll have them each marked individually. First, we have a letter dated November 6 from Curry Supply Holdings. Ask this to be marked as Exhibit 5. Next is a letter from Blair County Airport Authority dated October 30. Ask this to be marked Exhibit 6. Next, I chuckle because I'm going to struggle with saying Plamondon. I have a letter from Plamondon Hospitality Partners dated November 4. I ask this to be marked Exhibit 7. Does anybody know if I said that right?
Palondo, isn't it? It's London.
Okay. Next is a letter from Keystone Development dated November 6. Ask this to be marked Exhibit 8. I have a letter from Rails to Trails of Central Pennsylvania dated October 22nd. I'd ask this to be marked Exhibit 9. Last, I have a letter from Altoona Curve, dated November 7, 2024. I ask this to be marked Exhibit 9? 10.
We're counting.
We're keeping.
At this point, I'd ask for a motion from the commissioners to have those exhibits entered into the record.
I'll make a motion for that to be entered into the record. May I have a second?
Second?
All those in favor? Aye. Those opposed?
Okay, at this time, I invite the commissioners to state for the record the reason for their intent.
I'm going to start out. The intent of this is that early in last year, we had one of our very first meetings as commissioners where we opened up to the public. We talked about trails, and we had more people attend that public meeting than we ever had at that time. And there was strong support that we heard from our community that they were in favor of a trail authority. We had heard from many people that every little township and community is doing parts with their trails, but there's no coordination, there's no single point of contact. So there was a need to do that. So that's part of the reason why we did this. It also opens up, if we have a trail authority that gives us more grant opportunities that doesn't impact the general fund, that we'd be able to go out and do more things, which is going to bring an economic impact to this community. We also recognize when we go to these meetings and we attend CCAP conferences and stuff like that, that all of the surrounding counties around us are far ahead of us in what they're doing with trails. And they've asked us to join because we don't look at it as just a county economic boom. It is having all of the counties working together. So we recognize that, and they recognize that, and they've simply asked us, when are you guys going to get on board? So that was another reason why we've done that. The last thing I'll say is that at one point in time over the past several years, each one of us here in front of you has ran on as part of running for commissioner to develop trails. And so we're making due on a promise that we made to make this to come to fruition. So those are the reasons why I'm happy today to be able to do this and move forward as a county and being a part of it. So I don't know if Laura, you?
I don't really have that much to add. I will say that the support that I've heard from the community, including at the meeting that Commissioner Kessling referenced, was pretty overwhelmingly in favor of forming an authority. I think the importance of having, one place where everyone can come together to kind of discuss and plan out the trails, because it is something that does need a planning and coordination. We have some great assets currently kind of doing their own thing, and it would be wonderful to kind of harness that energy and power together to focus on a trail-wide network. So I think that's the main difference between what has been going on here in Blair County and some of our neighboring counties, is the lack of an authority. And I think it would be a big step forward in helping us improve and plan in the future and expand our trail network.
I too have been supportive of the idea of developing trails since we discussed this way back a couple of years ago. I recall finding some information from the DCNR that during 2022 there were over $17 billion that were brought into Pennsylvania in the outdoor industry, and I thought, we're missing out on that. We could be a part of that. The people coming in and little businesses developing. I believe that we as a board together have described our vision that we would like to connect the various parks and assets, connect onto the 9/11 trail, connect onto whatever trails there are, and bring people here to our beautiful area to enjoy. Not only to just enjoy for vacationing, but to come here and say, this is a nice place. I'd like to live here. Wouldn't that be great? It would be great to encourage more folks to come in and enjoy and be a part of our community. So we have taken the steps, and we're trying to move forward on this Trail Authority, and I'm fully in support of this. Thanks.
Thank you.
Have there been any other materials received by the county after the receipt of the last letter? Any other additional materials to be added to the record? At this time, I'm going to open up the floor for public comments, and I'm just going to go left to right. I think that'll be an easy and methodical way to do it.
Can I I just want to go over our policy on public comment, that you must come up here.
Well, no, this is a public hearing.
Okay,
So
go ahead then.
the policy is it's a little bit different.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I forget who raised their hands, but.
Yes.
So it's important to come up so that our stenographer can hear you and get your words down recorded properly.
I'm Ron Beatty. I'm a citizen of Blair County, and I'm also a city councilman. I just wanted to speak today and thank the Commissioners Board as a whole for taking the opportunity and giving the area the legs to stand on for recreation. I think that you guys have done a hard job, and you've really worked at it in a methodical way. And I appreciate everything you've done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Steve McKnight. I'm the president and CEO of the Altoona Blair County Development Corporation, citizen of Blair County, address 204 Autumn View Drive, Hollidaysburg, Pennsylvania. Thank you. I mean, that's the big message here today. As you know, and speaking on behalf of our board of directors, from the economic development perspective, trails and outdoor recreation is a cornerstone at this point of an overall economic development strategy, not just here in Blair County, but as Commissioner Kessling said, looking at all of our neighboring counties and how they are leveraging these outdoor assets to bring in people and bring in investment and increase the healthfulness of our community. There's just all upside benefit to what we're looking at and how we're doing it. This is a very critical piece of the capacity building that we've been looking to do, and to model it after our friends in especially Cambria County, where we have a very good relationship going, and we're going to continue that. So today's a good day. It's a bright, sunny day. I would maybe hit a trail after this if my board of directors would let me, but maybe I'll check in with that. But thank you. This is great leadership. You have many, many other issues on the plate, and you're still managing to push this through as well. So credit to you all. Thank you very much.
Sir.
My name's Mike Savino. I live at 1000 East Granite Avenue, Altoona, PA. I'm just here as an outdoor enthusiast. I'm not sure that what I wanted to talk about is really in the scope of the meeting that you're having right now. It's more addressed towards the board you're creating. So I don't know if you want to hear ideas and things of that nature at this point in time, but I did make something that I wanted to make out something to give to the members of the board. So,
This is your time to do that.
well, to give them that and to also
Put all of your comments on the record. This
Okay.
is the time for the
Okay.
public to make their record. If you have comments regarding the Trail Authority, no matter what it is, this is your opportunity. Please do so. If you have it written, we can also take that and have it marked as an exhibit.
Yeah, I don't want to read all that.
Okay.
I had like 1,000,000 thoughts, and I tried to condense it down to about 100, so I won't read it. But there are three main points that I'd like to hit on. First, I will say I'm glad to see what's going on. You know, it's a great step forward. The three, and I know that you guys have a lot of broad plans, you know. A couple of the things that I have highlighted on this paper are very narrowly directed to Altoona. And specifically, I'm talking about the Kettle and the trails up there that are historically connected to the Elias Baker foundry. When you walk the trails, you can tell that they were handmade. On the low sides of the hills, the rocks are hand stacked and leveled, and they're only wide enough for, you know, a horse dragging a log sled. So that's one reason I'd hate to see that lost. Those trails have been used ever since they were made, I suppose, by, you know, outdoor enthusiasts. But the reason I think they're important, and I specify that, is that it's pretty much a done deal. The trails are there. There's parking there. You kind of just have to go in and mark them and put a bridge up. There's a creek there that, you know, some people would have trouble crossing it on foot. In fact, most people would. But at times when the reservoir is letting out water, it would be dangerous. So there has to be a bridge. But it's only a 20-foot span. So, you know, a walking bridge, not a major expense. So the reason I like to bring this up, there's about 8 miles of trails there, about 8 different trails. They connect over to the trails around the reservoir. And there are some highlights there. One thing I wanted to point out too, because my wife and I have done a ton of hiking, I let her pick the places, and she looks for highlights, you know, people's comments online, spots of significant beauty, waterfalls, overlooks, rock formations. To me, anywhere in the woods is beautiful, you know. But so I'm always just right on board. And her and I had been hiking a couple years, and we were running out of places where she had something she really wanted to see. And one day we were short on time, so I said to her, I said, we live right there at the bottom of the hill. I said, we only have a couple hours. Let me take you up on the hill where I hunt all the time. And after we were near the top, she stopped and looked around a little bit, and she said, this is beautiful. I said, I've been telling you. And parts of it are really beautiful, and there are some really amazing points of interest up there. One of them is just off the property, so we'd have to get permission to take people there, or to put that on the agenda for people to come see. But it's, and I have some pictures that I'll leave with the board. But from there, depending on which trails you take, you can make your way over to the Kettle Reservoir. And if you've never been there, there's some beautiful trails right around the reservoir. And in addition to that, there's a trail behind there that goes up and makes a big loop. And from there, there's 2 different places where you can come back and make your way back to the Kettle area. And by the way, there's on that side of the mountain, there's also evidence that Baker's people built trails there. But there's a trail that takes you right to the top of the mountain above the reservoir. And I'm pretty sure that connects directly to the property that the Western Pennsylvania Conservancy now manages, or whatever you want to call it. So we've walked some of their trails, and those trails can take you down over, of course, to Frankstown, or the other way to Scotch Valley. But at the top of the mountain, if you go left and just follow the ridge of the mountain, you don't have to go very far. In fact, that property might adjoin to the state game land down at Alberta. I think it's Game Land 166, but I have it wrote down there, I'm not sure. But there's a couple interesting points down there. It's called Stony Point. I don't know if you've ever heard of Stony Point. And there's another highlight, which, you know, I won't bother telling you about it now. It's extremely rare thing. But from there, you can go to Sickles Corner, and from there, there's a back road that's pretty nice to walk. It is a road, though, that would take you to Fort Roberdeau. Now, instead of going, as you get out there, if you didn't go that direction, but you went right up over the mountain, you would be in the beaver dams at Canoe Creek. And from there, you can come out to the park and connect to Williamsburg or whatever. Okay, so Those two, and both of those things, there's parking available. I have some ideas, you know, where I think the Kettle Reservoir area, there isn't adequate parking. There is, you know, a little, but you might need to expand that. But that's basically the two of the three things I wanted to talk about. And the third one is, and I think this, you know, is really has a ton of potential. As you guys all know, the horseshoe curve. One thing I wanted to stress was that you kind of try to find a way to make it a priority, even if you have to get a good volunteer group together if there isn't money for it. I'm trying to think, somebody help me out there. What do you call them?
The furnaces.
The coke ovens.
Yep.
Couldn't come up with the word. The coke ovens up there are, there's only a few of them that are in nice shape, and there's a lot of them that are really falling apart. And the trees, the roots are going down through there and just wreaking havoc. So I would like to see the committee make a priority to try to get up there and put cut the trees down, kill the roots, and then you can go back later. I don't think those are in good enough shape to ever restore, but I think they are. There's a nice history there, as you probably know about the young man who wrote the book about the white. Are you familiar with what I'm talking about?
Glenn White.
Glenn White, yeah, the Glenn White story. Thanks. Yeah, so there's some history there, and so, you know, there's enough left there to for people to view it and enjoy it. And the other thing that I think there's potential for at the curve, I don't know how many have ever been up to the overlook that overlooks the entire curve. Okay, I think it would be quite an addition to the museum and everything down at the curve if you offered people a shuttle up to the overlook. Now, there are trails that lead there, but they're tough. They're steep. And I think that's about it.
Sir, can I take your exhibits and photos? And it sounds like you just volunteered. We have this marked as Exhibit 12. 12? 11. Anybody who's been to the tax sales knows I need a counter with me. 11.
Yes, sir.
Make sure to put his name on the volunteer list.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, I wrote it down too.
My name's Frank Barry. I live at 303 Valley View Boulevard. Now, in the ad and what I've been reading, there's been the word park too. And in the summer of 2023, $300,000 built an amphitheater at the Valley View Park. It's never been used. People don't know it's there. I've talked to somebody in the community band. Years ago, there was a stage there. COVID came, the stage fell apart, they tore it down, and there was nothing until they built this. It's a beautiful, were any of you there at the ribbon cutting?
I was not.
Judy Ward, Mike Schmidt,
I can't-
Lou Schmidt was there,
The amphitheater.
The
the amphitheater.
project was finished during our last term.
Yeah.
And that's all, from my understanding, you people, I'm talking to Judy Ward, you people didn't have any money pretty much in it. It was all grant money. So maybe you don't care about it. $300,000, it's never been used, never. Total waste of taxpayer money. I'd love to go back here and sit and listen to a concert. But nobody knows it's there, so it falls on you people to get it out that it's there and do something to get it moving. And if you walk, and there's trails back there, you familiar with the park I'm talking about?
I'm not now.
Blair County Park, behind Maybrook Nursing Home. There's a 9-hole disc golf course. There's 3 picnic pavilions. There's a softball field. You people own it. You're doing nothing for it. there is a bridge just further back a little bit to get you, after you play the ninth hole, to come back over a small creek, stream, to get back up to starting the second round. It's been falling into the creek for 3 years. I did talk to a supervisor from either the Park and Recreation or Blair County, I'm not sure which it was. Well, we're gonna fix it. 3 years ago. Hasn't been touched. It's like an ugly stepsister back there. Can you justify $300,000 of taxpayer money sitting unused? And there's all kind of trails back through there too. I think you all need to go back and see what's there, and maybe you'll appreciate what's there. I have these two pictures if I may show you.
Can you donate them for the record?
That is the amphitheater out of Hattiesburg. You all realize where that is? Know about it?
Can we have these marked and put on the record, sir?
There's one that's $300,000.
It's been used. Yes, it
I
has.
looked at it.
And you heard one of the,
Well, this is the time for public comment. It sounds like you would be supportive of a Trails Authority being formed for purposes of,
Well, yes, it's part of your description in the paper said parks included in that description, and there's trails right beside it.
the purpose of today's hearing is to give comment on the idea of passing an ordinance to create the authority, which would probably do something with what you'd like. Give these marked as exhibit.
Thank you.
Are you done, sir? Okay.
So I'm Kay Stevens. I work for the Altoona Mirror. Sometimes I live there, but I also live in the city of Altoona. And my questions, I have some questions that yeah, they should go on the record just so that, you know, if you don't answer them today, the upcoming authority that's going to be created will need to answer them. And that is that I'm interested in knowing if this authority is going to replace the county's recreational advisory board, because it takes care of the Valley View Park. It works on primarily it's Valley View Park and the picnic area. But at the same time, I'm thinking, okay, so what is this authority? Is it replacing the advisory board? I'm also interested in knowing if you're expecting the authority to take on any specific tasks other than the general outline that was in the ordinance. If you have any kind of do this first, any kind of priority list, that's what I'm looking for. And if that's the case, then I'm wondering, are you going to set aside any money for them for this new authority so that it has some starting money to get moving forward? And you may have designated something. I might have missed something in the budget, but yeah, I was interested in knowing how they're going to operate. And I'm also, I also noted that, you picked your members for this authority without any public discussion, and you also decided on their terms of offices without any public discussion. And but I recognize that whenever they convene their first meeting as an authority, they also need to comply with the Sunshine Law as they organize. So I'll see them all there. Thank you.
Before you step down, this is the public hearing before a vote is taken. If you have, and it sounded like you might have had comments on, this is the public process.
Yes.
It sounds like you might have comments on the proposed members. If you have comment, this is the time to make it.
Oh, I didn't have any objections to
Oh,
proposed
okay.
members. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they came up with a nice list of proposed members. I just didn't. I don't know how they
Okay.
chose them.
I just
don't
wanna
know
be
who
clear.
applied. I didn't even get a chance to tell the people and tell my readers that if you want to be on the authority, tell the commissioners you're interested. Yes, there is a form on the website. People can apply to be on an authority or volunteer their time, but there was no public notice as to if you want to be on this authority, sign up or let us know or send in a letter.
Okay, thank you. Had anybody else raised their hands and been sworn in? Does anybody else, after hearing the initial comments, have anything else to add? Well, were you here at the beginning? Yeah. Okay. Your question will be taken in the form of public comment for consideration. This isn't a voting meeting, I just want to be clear. But yes, stand up, be sworn in, and come put your comments on the record, please.
You swear or affirm to testify about to give in this matter to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Hello.
Hello.
My name's Karen Shaw, 327 High Street, Williamsburg. What does the Lauer Trail Group that oversees the Williamsburg section of the trail from Flowing Springs to Alexandria, are they on board with all this? I know that you entered something into the minutes from October, I think. Or what are their thoughts on all this? I'm just curious.
Well, if you want to suggest that the board consider or reach out to that group for comment or for input, that would be a good public comment to put on the record. And that's how I'll reasonably interpret your question. As I said before, this isn't a voting meeting.
Right, right.
It's not really a question and answer. It's your opportunity to put your information that you want the commissioners to consider before taking their vote.
I wanted to talk to them, and I just didn't, and I just wanted their opinion, because they oversee 15 miles of the trail, and I was just curious as to what, I'm sure
What
they've
was-
been in contact with you folks.
Did you hear what the name of the organization was?
I think,
The Lauer Trail
yeah,
Group.
one of the
Okay.
exhibits is from them.
Oh,
That's the word I wanted, exhibit.
okay.
And it, Lauer Trail's on there.
The Rails to Trail Center of Pennsylvania,
Central PA, yep.
of central Pennsylvania. Yeah, they did send a letter, and it's it's entered into the record already, and they convey their strong support for the proposed new direction for visitor lodging to be wait a minute. Oh. Strong support. They have a letter of support.
That's all I
Yes.
wanted to know. All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else? Hearing no further comment, I believe we did have a few additional exhibits, 11 through, 10 through 12.
Correct.
I'd like to have a motion to have those entered into the record.
I'll make a motion to enter those exhibits into the records. May I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Those opposed? So moved.
Okay. At this point, the record being complete, I invite a motion to close the record and close the hearing.
I'll make a motion to close the record. May I have a second?
Second?
All those in favor? And I'll make a motion to adjourn. May I have a second?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, thank you. Thank you.
Thanks very much, everybody.